Okay, here we have a Note 4 that's been all tore down, as you can see. We're going to go ahead and reassemble this. These are all the different parts that go into it. Here's your home button, your menu and back button wrap up over the top underneath the LCD, and then the rest of the connectors on the back here. These little radio connectors have to be transferred when you do a charging port, otherwise you won't have any cell service if you don't. This is the home button connector. Here's the SIM tray reader. Got some screws stuck to the magnets there. SIM tray reader plugs in. This is actually replaceable on the Note 4. So if there's a problem with the SIM tray reader or the SD card, that whole assembly there can be replaced. These charging ports are different based on the carrier. This one just happens to be Verizon, so that would be indicated by the V and also by the N910V, the model number on the actual connector. The rest of these parts are interchangeable between models, so your earpiece speaker, vibrate motor, front camera, those are all interchangeable. The only thing that's not is, I believe the SIM card tray reader might be different between the different models based on, but I don't see any. I'm guessing that's going to be different though. And oh, it looks like it's the same. N910F is the model number on there. So that evidently is universal across the models. So some of the stuff, some of it isn't. You just have to check the connectors and the cables for those markings. Okay, so to put this back together, to do it the right way, we would need a new sheet of copper here. This one's actually kind of tattered up, but to keep this from causing us issues, we're just going to go ahead and remove it for the purpose of this video. And there's another layer under here. This is for the stylus. It actually has a full-sized digitizer, I guess you go. It just basically picks up where the tip of this pin is. Some LCDs come with it, some do not. So if you get an LCD in where it's missing, just let me know and then we'll order. That is an additional sticker that we can stick on the back. So it's not the end of the world if it's not on there. It's just you won't be able to complete the repair until you get this whole pad to put back up inside there. Okay, so we want to make sure our home button is in there, and then our earpiece mesh is going to stick up here, and it only goes one way. And then we're going to go ahead and connect our connectors here. And then that's going to seat down in there, like so. Like that. And like that. Okay. I don't have the sticker that goes all the way around this for this one, so we'll just have to see how this will turn out. What we can do though is we'll clean all this gunk out. edges here of the frame. Get it nice and clean. And by clean, I mean just no residual adhesive and whatnot. I just want a nice clean surface that we can bond to. We'll take our trusty old toothbrush and just get all that crap out of there. There's probably a million different ways you can do this. If you find an easier way, it's totally fine. We just want to get all this garbage off there. Anything that looks like it's going to affect the integrity of your glue, adhesive, whatever it is that you're using to stick it in there. Okay, so now we're going to use our B7000, and we're just basically all those surfaces we clean. We're going to put a nice layer of glue. And since this is a OLED display, optical light emitting diode display, we don't have to worry about this glue seeping into the LCD and causing any kind of backlight issues. So we're going to hold this together, and our bottom is going to want to go in first. So we're going to insert that down in there like so, and we're going to get this seated down in there. Make sure our buttons catch. You don't want to press extremely hard. If you got something messed up, stop, go back, fix it. But this looks like we're good. So we're gonna go ahead and flip this over like this, and we're gonna keep a fair amount of pressure on there. And just until we can get our screws in. And then we're just going to wrap some rubber bands around it, hold it in place until that glue basically dries. And that should hold our screen in place. This glue, in my opinion, is better than any pre-cut laser adhesive or even the stripped, like just the generic roll of adhesive. The ones that come something similar like this, but it's different color. It's like pinkish in color. This is actually Kapton tape. It's like a heat tape, is what that roll is. protects from if you're having a grounding issue or something like that where you don't want anything to make contact. You can put that tape across it. It should protect it. Now if you want to get really super technical and prevent people from knowing that we've removed that copper from the backside there, you put a little piece up underneath there so it covers that hole. But you can see that the copper's missing through that little hole. And then as far as once we flip this over, pop bottle caps actually work super well on providing a universal form of pressure around the screen and whatnot. Some extra screws. Okay, so we'll flip this over and we're going to want to put one rubber band around the top here. We're going to wrap this around a couple times, put a lot of pressure there. It'll keep that down. This residual glue, once it sets, we'll go around, we'll remove all that. Okay, then we'll put another one here at the bottom. This will keep the bottom down, because it's going to want to pop up on you since we put one up at the top. Make sure our button pushes. And if we want to, we can actually, I don't know if this battery has a charge on it. Yep, it's dead, but at least we know our screen works. So we'll go ahead and stick that in there, and that's it. We'll let that dry. We'll let that cure for a few hours, at least an hour, and then we'll just go around with some alcohol and a rag and just clean all that up, and that should be good. But that's how you would take or put together a Note 4. The tear down. That LCD and that rear frame is going to all come out of this frame here. So when you go to take this out, you're going to want to pry along these edges to break loose those clips. There's little clips in there that grab. You could probably hear them clicking in as we were putting it together. So you'll just work those loose, and then as you get up here, you're going to have to be careful because you don't want to bend it out too much. Just you work at it as it lets you take it apart. That should pry out of there. That should be pretty good. And then this will just come out, and the charging port's always in first, out last.